Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So today we just want to discuss what we'll be covering for next week. So we just want to discuss what we'll be covering for next week. Yeah, I know it's Friday. Everybody's supposed to go rest. So sorry I couldn't have this office hour at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. I was on the road. And then I couldn't have the class. Right. So sorry about that. Sorry that it's late. Good evening, Nelson. Good evening, Esther. Good evening, Ajibola. Hi, how you all doing? All right. Yeah. All right. So basically, we're just gonna be covering talking about next week, right? I believe you all are quite good with this week, you know. So we'll be covering next week basically, and then next week is gonna be user research 2 and 3, right? User research 2 and 3. So basically, what we'll be doing next week is very clear. You would be getting improving. So now that you have done a research, you've collected feedback from people, on a particular product you've chosen to work on. So next week, we're gonna be teaching you all basically how to carry out proper research, right? How to continue your research. So after you get feedback from your potential users or from people, basically, like you have done with your form, right? It is important and necessary that you are able to, process that feedback basically, and then with the feedback, you're able to come up with ideas and build up a product, right? So next week, user research 2 and user research 3 will be focused on that. You're going to learn how to do, journey maps, user personas, affinity mapping, very lots of interesting stuff, ideation, very interesting stuff. Next week is going to be very, very interesting, right? You're going to basically be working as a UX designer next week. If what you have chosen to work on your, the idea or the industry you've chosen to work on, whatever you've chosen to work on, if it's very interesting or something you're quite passionate about, then you're really going to enjoy next week class, right? Because you're going to tax your brain to do some thinking and do some very important brain work, right? All right. So really that's it, right? So let me do a nicer job. Let me do a nicer job by giving a quick breakdown, like a tip for you all that are here on this call this night. I just want to let you know that you should we'll be requiring you to use FigJam, right? FigJam is the second tool of Figma that is being used for, what's it called now? That's being used for UX, right? That's basically what FigJam is. So you'll be using FigJam basically for next week. So next week you're going to be covering coming. Permit me, I'm coming. All right, yeah. So next week you're going to be, doing empathy mapping, kind of like affinity mapping, defining problems and solutions, prioritizing ideas, basically, so in the tasks you'll be asked to analyze your interview feedback, the one you came up with, and come up with an aggregated empathy map. Everything explained in the video, empathy maps, basically. Now you're going to drop a user persona, right? So user personals, I'll just give you a tip, right? So user personals basically are what's it called now? User personals are like, you're assuming your set of users, right? What kind of users will be making use of your product, giving them specific demographics, where they'll be from, their age bracket, their gender, their intentions, what they want to achieve, basically, right? You even put their work, their career, their job description, and those kind of things. But then just something that you can use to perceive um your kind of users, right? So then you're going to be brainstorming, prioritizing ideas, and then we'll tell you to pick five main design features, five main features that you are going to focus on, right? So empathy map, idea prioritization templates. We're going to give you those templates, right? You give a user personal template, so the submission mode is Miro or a FigJam file. Now, Miro is is a collaboration tool, right? It's beyond just UX design. Many they use it in remote companies, right? For FigJam is much more a tool focused on UX design. It's a collaboration to Figma is always collaborative, right? Many multiple people on the board at the same time. But then FigJam is much more specific to user research and doing analysis, not designing interfaces, basically, like we have Figma, right? So for user research 3, we're going to talk about user stories, user flow, how to create user stories and how to create user flows for your work, basically. So it's going to be very fun. It's going to be very interesting. I really hope you guys are going to enjoy it. And I hope you guys have completed this week's tasks. Your tasks are going to be graded. Just be patient with us. You're in your thousands. You're working hard. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Femi. You can use Miro. Yes, you can use Miro. But then we advise FigJam, right? Because working with other designers, wherever you get to work, except the company is paying for Miro. As an organization, and they won't want to be paying for FigJam again, but then they will obviously be paying for Figma, right? So, and then I think there's a way you can pay for Figma and FigJam together. So if you would advise you to use FigJam, our templates are in FigJam actually, right? But then if you want to use Miro, it's totally fine. Before FigJam came out, we do use Miro, so we're always using Miro. Someone says, is there going to be another project aside the mini project? Yes, sure. You're going to have a full-blown project completely that you'll be advised to write a case study on. Yes. So not just what's it now? Not just the mini project. The mini project was just like you said, the word mini, or just by the side, like, oh, okay, guys, quickly do this stuff. Let's see what you guys will come up with. So that was all, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So does anybody have any question? If there's no question, I know it's too early, right? If you have some general questions about design, it might not be about the task, right? Your career in product design, what's up? What should I expect? Do you want to pursue a career in product design? What's it like working? I have about a little bit over 3 years of experience working as a product designer, basically. And I have up to 6 years of experience working as a designer. I used to be a digital designer, doing graphics, social media graphics, and all this stuff far back 2016, 17. Yeah. And then I have some experience doing engineering also. I used to be a front-end engineer, and I used to be a mobile engineer. I did some bit of blockchain, wrote Solidity. I wrote Java, I wrote C#, C++ rather. I wrote that, I wrote JavaScript, and some very important languages, right? I did lots of engineering, right? I did engineering majorly in school, so I was exposed to software engineering, a lot. So did lots of engineering, like coding in a real sense, right? I also worked as a mobile engineer, like with a company, built products in the app store, like that was pushed to the app store basically. But then product design is what I'm doing now. And the reason why I got into product design was because I used to be a digital designer, right? Always doing that on the side, before I started learning and doing engineering, like learning front end, mobile, and all the coding and stuff like that. So when I discovered product design, I mean, it just made sense to move into it. And then there are not so many persons that knew about it then, So and then it looked very interesting, to build products basically. All right. So and that was why I made a move. So I don't know if somebody want to share. You can just share in the comment. What's it that led you to doing product design? Was it because you just saw the ads, or I don't know, not ads, we didn't do ads on Zuri. Maybe you just saw the post and say you want to go into product design or something like that. What was the post? Sean is saying the timeline for projects in our research plan template. I don't know how to set the timeline. Oh yeah, hi Nelson. Basically the timeline is not it's just anything, right? It doesn't have to be correct. It doesn't have to be correct at all. Do you get what I mean by it doesn't have to be correct, right? It doesn't, we are really not looking at it being correct, to be very sincere. Right. We just want you to just put something there that makes sense. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, just set anything, right? Okay. Femi is asking, I hope I'm pronouncing Femi or Femi correctly. I know the PH is pronounced like as F. Yeah. All right. I was not very good in English, but I think I'm trying. All right. So with user personal account, we use company also. No. User personals are individuals. Individuals, not companies. Individuals. Yes. Individuals that fit into the kind of users. Individuals that actually fit into your description of people you want to interview. Individuals that by your description of them, they actually pass your screener questions, right? So a kind of description about the people you have interviewed. It doesn't have to be the people you have interviewed. Sometimes they are not the right people, right? But then a perfect description of someone is going to use what you are building or what you are designing. Yes. Yes, Nelson, you should just put a date there, exactly the point, right? Okay. Anybody has questions? You want to ask general questions, random questions about? I feel like answering random questions about design. I mean, I know we are not much on the call, right? I think we're much, a lot of people that have been talking, saying something, one or the other. So, but the night is a very good time to just chat about just get some random questions. Yes, I want to say, ask a question about design or ask a question about working, how to get your first job, how to get your first gig and all this kind of stuff. There are many things I could talk about, right? But then if you just push something, then I would be able to, stretch a little bit about the particular topic that and then when we go through it for some couple of minutes, we'll round it up for the night, and then we see next week. All right, are we waiting? We're waiting. Okay, someone is saying, can we use Figma for logo graphic design, just like Adobe Illustrator? Yes, I do that, right? I use Figma for my graphic design. All right. I mean, okay, so let me introduce you guys to something. I hope I can find it. Please give me a minute. Coming. So there is a particular Figma plugin that's called Photo P, right? Photo PEA. All right, so the plugin is called PhotoPA. Let's go check it out, right? I've not checked it out before, but let me just give you random examples. No, I won't be sharing my graphic design here. All right, so I mean, yes, you can use it for your graphic design, right? I do lots of, I mean, this kind of banner, this is not really serious graphic design, but you need to know how to play around some of the things of Figma, do some, you won't get it exactly like Photoshop, but then there is this plugin. Let's check the plugin. They say the plugin is like Photoshop in Figma. Photo. Yeah, see it. Let's run it. Let's see how it works. Photo PE or something. No image or return selected. Let's see now. Oh yeah. This is my first time trying it out. Running Photo PE. Okay. Let's see. So it says it allows you edit like Photoshop, right? But then you can use Figma generally. Me, I use Figma with all what it has to do graphic design. You really can't do logo, right? But I use it to do logo. Or I actually use it to do logo, actually, right? So, but yeah, it would work. Let's see. Still running. Let's hope it works, right? So, but yes, you can use it if you know how to play around. What's it called now? Figma pen too. You can use it for illustrations, right? People do illustrations in Figma, like very crazy illustrations, character illustrations, and stuff like that. So yeah. Someone says, how do I search for jobs? You use job board platforms, you chat with people in the design community, chat with people, learn to know people, right? But then searching for jobs, just what you see on job boards basically are senior roles. So, but you see some junior roles, join some Slack channels for design jobs, design opportunities, this kind of stuff. They are much, right? They're actually much, right? So say, please, my question is on the buttons and input fields. Do they have to be the same height? Input field and buttons, I advise they are, but it's not a must, but I advise they should be the same size. Right. Okay, Nelson is saying, what do recruiters look out for? I'll give you this very, very premium tip that is not sugar coated, right? If you are looking for your first job gig in product design, your UI is number one, like your interface. Just leave UX. Don't leave UX, right? But nobody cares about what you wrote in your case study. Everybody knows it's a lie, right? Why do I say it's a lie? It's just practice project. It's not real. You didn't try it out. So you don't know if it will work or not. You just followed template and just wrote what you think is gonna work, right? So everybody knows the life. If I'm reading a junior designer's case study, I do know this is not a life project, it's scam, right? Not like it's scam, but then you are just writing in English, basically. But what I'll look out for is your design, your interface design. Is your UI fine? Do you know how to do you design great UI? You get, so that's what I personally look out for, right? And that's what recruiters look out for. So your interface, and I tell people the best way to get better at doing interface design basically is by replicating other people's designs. If you see a good design online, carry it to your Figma, go and try and redesign it. If you can get it exactly the way the person owns it, keep trying until you get it right. So what steps should one take when trying to design a website? Do you necessarily have research rig and a case study? Now, if you are designing a website is different from a web app, right? A website is different from a web app, right? So if you are designing a website, for example, a website, you don't need so this is the only research you need. The research is not about talking to people. Right? Designing a website is very complicated. Let's say you're designing a website for a new company, right? What you just need to communicate on the website is their offerings. What are they offering? Communicate it as clear as possible. There's so much there's so much game that goes into landing page design in terms of SEO, content, copy, all those stuff. But then if it's just you're just doing product design work, no need to stress yourself on all of that. Just communicate what they have, the features they have, what they have to offer on the website. That's all. You don't need a case, you don't draw a case study for a website, except you did a crazy work. Let me give you an example. I designed a website for a wine company in Canada. And this is the reason why I wrote a case study on that, right? Although I didn't publish it now. I can't publish, but this is the reason why I wrote a case study on it, right? Now they came to me, they had a design already for their website. They wanted a redesign, right? And they said they had their requirements. So they had run analytics, Google Analytics on the website. They had discovered the issues with the website. They saw that new users were not really coming on board. They saw that people were coming on board more with what's it called now? With the web app, they're coming more on board with web than mobile view, basically. Like possibly like there was something wrong with mobile view or something like that. Do you get? She get? So yeah. So that was that, and they said they had so many requirements for the redesign, right? Lots of documents I had to read, then I had to start working with those documents to do a redesign of the platform, right? So, and basically that's what I did for the platform. I did a redesign of the platform, basically. The process, so I had to analyze the results from Google Analytics. I had to look at feedback from stakeholders, look at feedback from customers, look at customers' interaction with the website for me to do a redesign, right? And then they wanted the new design to have a feel of luxury. So there was so many stuff that I just had to write a case study, right? But then if you're just designing a website for a product for the first time, right, there's really no much stuff to talk about. So just do the design, okay? So Nelson is asking, are Nigerians really considered for remote jobs in USA and UK for product design? If yes, what makes me a better candidate than someone who runs in that country with the recruiter? Yeah, Nelson, very, very fantastic question. In fact, I love this question, right? So this is the truth. Yes, Nigerians are always considered, right? Now, this is it. The possibility of you getting a remote job, let's say in the US, for example, against another candidate that is in the US is really, really low, right? A candidate in the US will be preferred better. Let me tell you why. It's not because it might not even be because he has better design skills, right? Now, the reason is because in the US, in the UK, and most of countries in North America and like in Europe, right, they have strict laws, right? When they are bringing up an employee, they have to make sure that they are tax compliant with all the laws and all those kind of things, right? So if a company in the US wants to hire you in Nigeria for a remote job and an employee, they have to be compliant with Nigerians taxing law. They have to make sure that they are paying your tax for you, in Nigeria. So meaning they have to set up an entity in Nigeria. So imagine you are the first employee, it really would not make sense for them. And if they are not considering to extend to Nigeria, right? So it will not make sense for them. But then there are other platforms like Deal, Remote, and so many platforms that they can use to hire internationally without this thing. But then it will cost them more. So a company might just decide to opt for, what's it called? Just decide to opt for hiring in US or UK, right? Now, another thing is this: if it's your first role as a junior designer, I advise you not to try it, right? You know why? Like, it's hard if it's your first role. If you have some experience already, if it's your first role, just focus on Nigerian companies with the whole of your mind. Like, just leave US and UK companies for now. Focus on Nigerian companies. That's the advice I'll give you from my own experience, right? Once you get a job with a Nigerian company, it becomes easy and easy. Yeah. You want to get a job with a Nigerian company, it becomes easier and easier and easier, right? So that's basically what happens. She gets, yeah. All right. So focus on Nigerian companies as your first role. If it's not your first role, if you've worked with a Nigerian company with 1 year, almost 2 years, then just go and be applying to foreign roles, right? You will definitely get it. Like, and make sure when you see remote US, remote UK, sometimes go through the description. I used to tell people, go through the job description. Some of them say they have relocation option, right? I know a couple of friends who have relocated just this year. Some of them have relocation option, some don't, right? Some say they only hiring in here. So what may I do when I say job posting? I see remote UK, remote US, blah, blah, blah. I just go and check who's the recruiter. I then go and DM them on LinkedIn, or mostly LinkedIn, or I go and send a mail to them that, what's up, I saw this role, is it open? to non-US residents or non-UK residents without, a authorization to work in the US, but then blah, blah, blah. Some of them say no. Some you're able to convince them to work as an independent contractor. There's a lot of work that goes into this stuff, right? So, and then some agree, some don't, and stuff like that. A lot of shit happens there. All right. So one says, I use Figma for graphic design, so it's not bad. Okay, yeah. Also, for the screener question, how do you differentiate those that give us the answers we need and those that don't? Responses in the form of pie chart. You can view individual responses, right? There's a Google Sheet icon that you see when you open responses on your Google form. If you open that Google Sheet, you're going to see more informations. Do you get? Yeah, you're going to see more informations, basically. All right, so yeah. I have a question concerning user personal template. I copied is not editable. Then just redo the template. How do I put it? Like just do the template again. Even if it's not editable, as long as you can see it, right? Just do it again. Right. So I just need to get product design internships. How do I do that? Yes, Nelson, right? You need product design internships. Internships are hard to get. It's work, right? I'm telling you, I'm preparing your mind. Internships are hard to get, but there are some companies. Then when you want to get internships, right? These are the two ways you can get internship. Either you get with a big company. Let me give you examples of companies like that in Nigeria. Now you're getting an internship with Flutterwave, or you're getting with not Andela. You're getting with Flutterwave, you're getting with what's the name of this company? Paystack. Companies that have like over 50 to 100 team apps, companies with large number of employees, right? They can accommodate that, right? They can actually accommodate internship. Internships is a win or lose for how do I put it? It's a win or lose for companies, right? So just target big companies or become friends with designers, right? Sometimes by working closely with a senior designer, right, that has a lot of work on his hand, that's your own internship like that. Basically, he'll be giving you some tasks to do. I know a lot of people that did that, and then from there they got their first role. Meet with people, it might help you also if you're not getting. I know some that got their full role directly too. So I said, please, what's the difference between a user flow and a customer journey map? Now, a user flow basically is like what a user is going to pass through. Let me give an example, right? So let's say a user flow, okay, from dashboard. Okay, let's say the person wants to perform a particular task. For example, let's say I want to transfer money, right? So from your home screen on the mobile app, right? So you click on transfer, then you see some text field and some this thing you input. So in text field, you see where you enter account number. It's called is text field, right? Then you see where you enter what again, the amount, blah blah blah. You see button, and then you transfer, and then it asks you for PIN, and then blah 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 blah. That's how user flow, right? But now when you say customer journey map, right? Customer journey map is mostly done by mostly in line with customer success teams, right? But then product designers also do it a lot so that they can understand the process, right? A customer journey map will start from downloading the app, not even downloading the app. It could be from you discovering the app, right? From the ads or something. Sure, get. So it's like discovering the app from maybe Play Store or from Instagram ads or Twitter ads or something, then to downloading the app, then to signing up, then to that's a customer journey is beyond a particular flow. So user flow is per flow, transfer, maybe transfer money, withdraw money, deposit money, buy airtime. I'm using an example of regular fintech apps, right? She gets. So that's for example, that's for user flow. For journey maps is like what's the journey of a customer through a particular app, right, into the platform, and then performing tasks. So that's basically it. Oh yeah. So as soon as that's good evening, please. I did my mini project in page 2 of my starter. Is that all right? Yeah, I think it's fine. It's fine. All right. So you talk of web app. Please, what's different between web app and website? So web app, like for example, let me use a popular one now, like Zuri, your board, right? What's it called? Is it called LMS? LMS is a web app, right? For example, where you went to register for you to join this training on that website. That's a website. Like that place is a website. You can't do anything there. Just a website. The website shows information. The best the website will do is to take small data, like subscribe to newsletter, fill one form, small data, right? But web app is where you perform things. You send something, sends email, like the LMS exactly. It's a web app. So it's saying they mostly recruit designers from Nigeria based on the experience and track record. Yeah, experience. That's why I say focus on Nigerian companies first. Oh, Nelson is saying you like meet me. I mean, I'm here now. The truth of the matter is that I'm tight right now. At least I'm going to be very tight and occupied to the end of the year. Very tight, right? So I would know if even the set of people from last cohort that have been helping in their design career, I've not really had time to review their work or to check anything about what they're doing recently. I've got seen their DMs and it's always difficult because I'm very occupied. I'm very occupied to the end of the year, right? Hopefully by next year, my brain can calm down and I can, maybe when I plan the year, I can fix in some schedules, right? Okay, so I say, can I use dummy text for the details with real headings, or do I have to actually write something real? Yes, you write something real. We advise that you write something real. Don't use dummy text. Think. That's where thinking starts from, right? You can't design a product in a company and you're putting dummy text. They'll sack you, right? Yeah, they will sack you. All right. Kelvin is asking, can someone build a portfolio with Twitter and LinkedIn? No. Build your portfolio with Behance, as with case studies. Post your shots on Dribble, or you can build portfolio with Notion, or you build a custom website, right? Twitter and LinkedIn is just for brands. Just throw your work out there. So, but for building portfolio, no, not that, right? So it's actually concerning the user personnel. Is it a standard to use more than one user? Not standard, right? But yes, use more than one user. You obviously would have more than one user. It just gives you this kind of multi-view, right? It really does that. All right. So make sure you have more than one user. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what else again? All right. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's it. That's all. In all right, design is not easy. Design is hard. I will not sugarcoat this for you, right? Design is hard. Design is very hard. In short, design is really hard, right? On some days, you feel very good. You design crazy, mad stuff that your boss is praising you. In short, your design lead is like, wow, this guy, you're a senior, you're becoming very good, right? I mean, your boss at work, right? And then the next day, you design something and they're like, what the hell is this, right? So design is really hard, really hard. It takes practice to get better, right? Even I myself have been slacking on this because there's been too much work. You have to keep practicing, trying out new stuff. But one thing I always try to do is try out new design styles I see is begin to fly around. There's a new design style that's beginning to fly around by this company called Linear. They have one kind of subtle gradients that they are using with some shades of lights and very crazy stuff. And it looks like everybody's beginning to do that kind of design now. So if you don't want to miss out, you should have to jump on it, be able to do that kind of design. So in case your next client say, I like this kind of design, can you do something close? You would not begin to struggle. So design is all about practice. Design is all about trying, failing, and trying again, failing and trying again, and failing and trying again. Even till date, right? I still do some designs that looked very terrible. I still did one 3 weeks ago, right? And just I slept and woke up. I mean, in the night, it was looking very interesting, you know. And then I slept and woke up, and the design was, my goodness. I was like, how the hell did I do this design? Right? Very terrible, very terrible. So yes, it still happens, right? Still does happen. So you just need to keep trying, you keep getting better as they go by. All right. So Kelvin is saying, can I drop my Twitter or Behance? Try and get inspiration. I have a Behance account. I recently opened it this year, right? I'm not a Behance fan. I don't have my portfolio on Behance, right? I just had the Behance account because Behance, I think Behance is an Adobe product, right? So I have an Adobe account. So one way or the other, I just have to log in my Adobe account, into Behance, blah blah blah. I don't use Behance, right? But my Twitter, that's it there on the screen. Follow me on Twitter at Caculuz. Hardly drop my designs, right? I've been trying to do it, but it's hard for me. Like for me to just sit down and then start snapping my designs and posting. I feel like it's people that after they have work and they are chilling, right, they just snap and post, right? But me, if I finish this work, right, the next work is waiting, just finish, drop, and then jump to the next stuff, right? So it's always difficult for me. I've been trying to do it. I feel like I've been losing potential clients by not posting my design, but I mean, what can man do? But I'll try to post. But then if you go, I have some designs that there, just some, right? I'm not sure my Twitter profile is a good inspiration for you, but then I have design tips. I post a lot of design tips, some months back. I've also stopped that a little bit because no time you get. So, but then I have design tips that can possibly help you, right? So, Lily is saying you didn't hear your question. I'm wondering, what was your question? Some say I have a question concerning user personality content. Yeah, I spoke about it. You said the template you have is not editable, right? Yes, just I said redesign the template. It's not a must use the template, right? Now, you know what's on the template. They have a picture there, I'm assuming, right? They'll have the name of the person, the age, maybe the demographic, where the person is from, the kind of work the person does, his motivations, and blah, blah, blah. Just do your own. Redo the design the user personal template for yourself so that you can have it edited. So that's what I'm saying. All right, that was my response. Someone says, are we allowed to use a different color guide for the landing page tags? What do you mean by different color guide? Do you mean different from your design, your style guide? Sincerely, we are not going to mark you down for doing that. But if you use your style guide, right, you will just help us know that you are learning well. That's all, right? John is asking, how can one stay consistent with progress as a new designer without any intention? Is there a roadmap? It's really hard, right? But you have to keep practicing. I advise this thing. Now, just make sure you are designing it. Make sure you design every day, no matter the situation. Design every day. Do a landing page, do an hero section, just design every day, right? You'll be growing, you'll keep working, right? But if you have time, my advice for you and that what you should do is think of a concept, right? First, after the Missouri, I know many of you, your UI skills will still be very low, not very good. Go and redesign, like every day, do like 2 redesigns. Just pick a design of somebody, very good design. Redesign it exactly that way. Look for someone to help you check if your redesign is perfect, right? They will evaluate it for you, check it, make sure you redesign perfectly. Every day, make sure you are designing for 60 days. So that's 2 months. Maybe it's too much. I'm not sure it's too much. If you are consistent with redesigning every day for 2 days, your UI skill will get better. After that 60 days, my advice for you is to now think of an idea or there's a problem that you have, right? Or a challenge that you have, right? Think of it, and then my advice is that you now design a solution for it, right? But then your UI design skill should be very good before you start doing case studies and all right. Okay, so after this code, where will you suggest to usually get better samples from to make our design get better apart from YouTube? There are a lot of them, right? There's Ninja, there's Mobin, there is Dribble, there's Behance, there is Twitter. People post their design on Twitter a lot. I learn a lot from some very interesting posts. I was recently just watching a YouTube video from one of the designers on Twitter, to learn something, right? So I learn a lot also. So yeah, those are places you can get. Don't say, how can I arrange all my work on Figma? I always have problem with zooming and scattered my work. Like I will zoom in and out to get my design frame. To arrange your work, just have to arrange it. Pull the frames together side by side. That's how to arrange your work. If your work is always, just make sure your work is in one side, right? So zoom in and zoom out. If you are trying to, what's it called now? If you are trying to place, just call me and press to zoom to fit, right? Shift 1, right? All your designs is on that artboard are going to fit together. Shake it, so you can do that also. Okay. Someone says, how can I arrange all my work on Figma? I always have problem with zooming and scattered work or something. That is saying, okay. So if you have problem with, oh, okay, that's what I just explained. Okay, I'm having issue with color and the use of pen tools in design. Can you recommend video or something? Colors. You need to read and understand colors, right? Understand hue, saturation, light. Understand RGB colors and all those stuff, right? Read on colors. Go online. Just go to Google and search for color psychology or psychology of colors, right? Yes. For pen tools, even me myself, I'm bad at pen. So I was recently learning, but I didn't still finish the tutorial I was doing. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right. So I'm also bad at pen too, right? But then yes, YouTube, you'll find the YouTube video. I've forgotten the video I was using. I know if I search, I'll find it again. But then I just search for YouTube video, pen tool on Figma. Right. If you post your design on Twitter and LinkedIn, it's not bad, it's fine, it's cool, it's nice, right? Do it. Okay. Make sure you are getting feedback. That's very much important. Get feedback. All right. So I think that's all the question. Thanks so much for joining today's office hour. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy yourself. We'll meet again next week. We'll be covering user research fully. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of yeah. All right. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the training. I mean, I'm still here though. All right. Good night, everyone, and bye. Well, I'm a little confused. Femi said I should stay. What's that? What's the stay about? Can you have a question? Angel is asking, the time that was given for both to design tasks is too short. Please, can't you do something about deadline plus squeeze about stuff? That's what's then to follow. I'm so sorry, Angel. I'm really, really so sorry about that. Really, we can't do anything about the timeline because we have a timeline for the program, right? Yes, we can't do anything about the timeline, right? So sorry about that. Yes, for students that are going to resume, another sad story, right? Yeah, it's obviously another sad story, right? So, but then you just have to find a way. I always tell people if you want to do tech or you want to have a career in tech, right, and you want to be serious with it, right, you have to be lenient with school. Some persons find it very hard, but then it's really the only way, right? It's what I do, basically, right? So I'm not saying you should abandon school. I'm saying be lenient to school. It means that when everybody's running and rushing to that class, you are rushing to where you are going to go and design, right? Yeah, it's difficult. You will not do it, I tell you, but you only do it when you start getting gigs and clients, and jobs. That's the only thing that's going to push you to do it. If I tell you to do it now, many of you, if it's just practice design, you'll be like, I'll do it later, let me go to class, let me go to class. Class is more important. But the moment you get a gig or you get a job and your employer is like, you need to get this design, you need to do this. I mean, you will leave your school or whatever that is and go and focus on it. So sorry about the timeline, right? There's really nothing we can do about it. I really hope you'll be able to finish though, like the training, I mean. All right. Okay, so that's it. I don't know if Femi has a question for me saying I should stay, but I would like that you ask your question. If there's no question, that's the end of today's office hour. This week is that an office hour today? I'm not sure. That's the end of today's office hour, basically. Thanks so much, everyone. And I hope you enjoy the rest. Enjoy the rest of the week. That's the weekend. Yeah. All right. All right. Bye, everyone.